Hi guys.
Hey everyone, you're welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Yep, you're welcome, My name is Wethetizas.
And I'm Wethetizas, and together we are the Teasers.
Yeah.
What you wanna say to me now? I wanna wake up with you in the morning. Something's nothing fake to me now. I wanna wake up with you in the morning.
We're going to be talking about something interesting, as we always do.
Yeah.
And the subject we're considering, considering as I'm preaching.
Yeah,
so the subject that we're talking about today is to date or not to date. Now, before you think you know what we want to say, let me explain. That is, before you even consider or begin to consider to date somebody, what are the things you should pay attention to before you make, that will help you, enable you to make a good decision to date or not to date? Because a good marriage starts from dating.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to attempt to share today.
Yeah.
You know, so but before we do that, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button, so that, and then turn on the notification button as well, so that you can be notified anytime we upload a new video. Yes. So
and give this video a thumbs up, because you have faith that what we're going to be talking about is amazing.
Yeah. So I'm waiting. Subscribe. Okay. So the first thing we're going to be talking about, to date or not to date, and of course this may sound like cliche, but it is fundamental for every decision you must make or you want to make. You should consider if your purpose, your vision for life, and that person's purpose and vision for life actually match or blend or are headed the same way.
Yeah.
Now, you cannot take someone that is going to Lagos on the same route with someone that is going to Yobe.
Right.
You know, one way or the other, you will get to a point where you will have to separate and find different paths. So why do you want to engage in the trouble yourself to start this journey of dating when you know that both of you are going diverse or different directions? For example, I say I want to be a politician, and you have no interest in politics. You have no interest in being in the office of a politician. Or let me say this one thing that happens so much since I'm a pastor. You know, a man, you married the man, or you met the man, and the man was a pastor.
Yeah.
You know that as a pastor, he already positions you to be a pastor's wife.
Yeah.
And then eventually, when you get married to the person you were dating, you know, because of the butterflies in your stomach, you get to the point where you guys have to get married, and you're saying that, oh, this is your God thing. That's the only thing the person knows how to do.
Absolutely.
That means by implication, you must be heading the same direction.
True.
If you want to do something else, then find someone else that is doing what you would be interested in doing. So instead of even getting into, now this is just an example, but instead of even attempting or getting into the relationship from that point, just save yourselves the trouble. Don't do it. So, you know, and this is kind of like a tip on the kind of discussions you can have on the first date. You know, what you want to do.
True.
You know, just know what the person wants to do, what the person's idea for life is, and then you can decide whether this date should go on to the next. Because I know on the average it takes not more than a couple of dates, maybe like 3 dates, for somebody to decide that I'm going to date this person. In fact, some people from the first date, from meeting the person,
they already know that
I
love this person.
I like this person. So it's sort of, you know, indulging yourself and then get yourself into trouble. You know, it's important that you have these lines defined and then you don't cross them.
Absolutely. And you know, like he just said about purpose, visions, dreams, you know, being aligned. One of the things that I always say about my husband, for me personally, is that my husband is so involved in everything I want to do. So, like he said, if you don't even, you're not going the same direction, you will not be able to participate actively or even like be involved in everything your spouse or your potential spouse is going to do. And at the end of the day, really, marriage is about teamwork. So if you're not going to be able to blend together to help each other become better at what you both want to do, then there's no point even dating in the first place.
That's true.
Yes. So another thing to consider or to pay attention to in whether you want to date or not to date is in your beliefs and values. Guys, this is important. I think in a video we've done before, I think we'll link it in the description box. One of the things we said was, okay, let me just give this example. So you meet someone who you guys are having a discussion, let's say on your first date or your second date, or you guys are just talking on the phone, and then the person says, oh, I believe that I should marry 3 wives, and that's not what you believe in. Or let's say the lady says, oh, if this marriage is not working for me, we're going to end it. It's a divorce for me. And for you don't believe in divorce. That's a pointer to say that you should not even start the relationship in the first place, because what you believe in, the both of you have different beliefs and values totally. So for you, you may be very family oriented, and then the other person is all about work and career and doesn't even pay attention to family. Like, well, my family is always just going to be there. Then is a huge sign, or is a reason for you to calm down and think about it. Do you really want to go into that relationship? Because you're going to butt heads all the time. So if your beliefs and your values are different, you place priority on one thing, the other person places priority on another thing, which does not even make sense, or your own does not make sense, or whatever, then it's something for you to pay attention to if your beliefs and values are absolutely different.
And as she has said, brilliantly said, it's a thing to consider.
Yeah.
It's a thing to consider. And not to say that you must, push the person away, but maybe before you accept to date, maybe you guys work on aligning those values. We're not saying that, because person's value, because sometimes people may not, they may have their ideologies mixed up, and then you are the one that will bring their mindset. For example, now we still have men that believe that their wives should just, even if they are not making enough money, you understand, they just believe that, okay, she should not do anything, she should stay at home. She wants to try and do business. Say, no, don't do anything, just sit at home. I just want you to be cooking, cleaning my children's pool, and then
even when it's a challenge for the man providing.
And that situation now, the man isn't entirely open to progress. It's not really entirely open to being involved. It's not really involved with the society that we have today, where women are more involved than before. So probably this person grew up with this mindset because they saw their father and mother do the same thing. So if you can change the person's mindset, why not? Educate them. But if you cannot, then there's no need.
Say, my way is the way and your way is not the way.
There's no need for you guys to proceed on that part. There's no need for you to stress yourself and burden yourself to head on that part when the person is adamant to that. Because guess what, when you eventually get married, the person is going to insist on the things they were saying before. And then you need to pay attention to those details, And then another thing that may be a very important point to consider. It may not be as important, but it's it's necessary to consider is any form of attraction, be it physical or whatever, any form of attraction. Before you start to date, let the pressures of being in a relationship not drive you into actually saying yes. You should ask yourself the question, why am I attracted to this person, or what makes me attracted to this person? If I am not attracted to this person, then it's a valid point not to go into dating yet. Maybe advice for you guys can just remain friends. From friendship, you begin to truly notice why you want to be with this person. So some friends have grown to become attracted to each other, and then it builds into a relationship. So for now, if there's no form of attraction, there's no need to just say yes because you think that the person is good. Where you say, this is a potential, but you're not attracted. You just know certain things about he's working, she's working, so she'll help me. I won't struggle so much as a man. But then if there's no form of attraction, especially physical attraction, listen, physical attraction is very important.
It's very important too.
It's very important, So if there's no form of attraction, but not just physical, it can be intellectual, it can be emotional, it can be spiritual. Some people just like a man of God. There are some women that
all the ones that kabash in church
that were born with the desire to marry a man of God. I know for one that my mom had the desire always to marry a military man and a doctor. 2 reasons. She wanted to marry a military man because especially the Air Force, she was specific with that decision. She wanted to marry an Air Force officer because she thought Air Force officers were clean. But she liked military men, but the Air Force officers especially because they were clean. And she wanted to marry a doctor because in that time of her life, she had an underlying health challenge. So she thought that only a doctor would understand and be able to manage her health properly. So she wanted it. And so when my dad showed up,
he was the one.
No questions asked. No questions asked. So it's very important. Yeah, it's very important.
Absolutely. And another thing to note is, I think I was speaking with somebody yesterday, and I was telling my husband, is if the person that you're considering to date is struggling with addictions, this is a very sensitive, will I say topic or a point, because for the people who are struggling with, addictions, many times it's not necessarily their fault. In fact, I went to speak at a secondary school last week, and one of them asked a question. She asked me a question. She said, I was exposed to a lot of things when I was very young, like pornography and all of that. And when she talks, her mate says she's very corrupt. But it's not necessarily her fault. It's because of the environment she was exposed to. And when I got back, I was surprised about it, and I was telling my husband. And my husband said, oh, absolutely, there's some people who have aunties and uncles and siblings who watch those things generally in the house, like they put it on TV. So those people are, exposed to things. Or, for example, you're maybe the only son, and let's say you're always in the company of your dad and his friends who drink. Yeah. You now have a drinking problem or a smoking problem. So I understand that in many cases it's not necessarily their fault. But then you're with somebody, or you're going to be with somebody who is struggling with an addiction. It is very important for you to decide if you want to go through the journey of the struggle together or not. Because somebody may tell you, oh, I have this addiction problem, but I'm working on it. How much of an effort is the person putting to change that habit? And then there's the point of also, if the person is just doing it by power and might, as the Bible will say, and not by the Spirit of God. Yeah. Because guess what? Your human will sometimes will fail you. So if you are breaking an addiction just by your mind and your physical ability, one day you will not be strong enough to withstand it. One day you'll be in the company of all your friends who are drinking and smoking, and you say, well, for social reasons, let me just take a sip. And before you know, you're back to the addiction again. So it is important for you to know whether, you want to go through that journey with the person, or if the person is even making a serious attempt to stop. And then if the person is actually being changed by the word of God and by the Spirit of God and by the influence of the Holy Spirit, then it's fantastic, because it is in that case that you know that when something is broken off by the Spirit of God, you know that it will not come back again. And even with the Spirit of God, there's a human participation. So the Spirit of God has set you free. But as a free man, you live as a free man. You don't now live as a man under chains anymore.
That's true.
And you don't live. You don't. You don't live under chains any longer. Yeah. So that's a very important one. It's good to say, oh, he makes me feel wonderful. She makes me feel amazing. But that but should be checked. And if it is a case of addiction, then it should really be checked. Pay attention to it.
I just want to say that it can also be the other way around. Yeah. So maybe you are the one dealing with an addiction.
Yes.
It's not wise to start to date, because you know that addictions influence our actions. So sometimes you will put the person you are dating in an uncomfortable situation. Yeah. And for you who wants to date someone that is addicted to, you always find yourself in that situation where you need to always compromise. Yeah. So you must make that decision or you must think and recount the cost of getting into a relationship while you're addicted, or dating someone who's addicted. And then you can wait, if you don't mind, you can wait, help the person through.
Exactly.
When you have validated that the person is okay, then of course you guys can start to date. You understand? If you really, really want to enjoy a relationship, because this is the reason why people leave trails of heartbreaks on the road, because you make those kinds of silly decisions. And speaking about
serial data,
you now become a serial data. Speaking about addictions and struggles, this one I'm not even advising you to think about it. This one I'm instructing you that you should do not. If you're struggling with an emotional problem, if you're having emotional trouble, especially for those that are dealing with a heartbreak or breakup, anyone, it's not wise to date. If the person is dealing with a heartbreak, don't date the person. If you are dealing with a heartbreak, don't go into dating. Listen, rebound is true. Listen, people have married their rebound, and then when they got into the marriage, Jesus, they began to ask themselves, what am I doing here?
Why did I?
Because, as you know, there was an illustration used in one of our videos which was brilliant. You know, a reference that someone said it, and then you know, it was beautiful. How that a rebound is like a band-aid that, you know, you cover a wound. But once that healing has occurred, you get rid of the band-aid.
Yeah.
And that's what most times happen. You know, that guy that's hanging around, cuddling you, that girl that's hanging around, comforting you, don't cry, she broke your heart, you know, got punished her and everything, got punished. All those kind of things you are telling all those people. The person hanging around, you now start, you know, feeling mushy with the person. What's happening is that your emotions are everywhere.
Yeah.
So anyone that responds to that emotion seems to be the best fit.
Exactly.
So you won't be in the best position to make a wise decision.
Yeah.
So to make a wise decision, you must have conquered or dealt with whatever emotional problems you're dealing with. Your emotions are stable. Once they are stable, your eyes will clear.
Yeah.
And I say, what's going on here? No, this is not the person. This is not the, you know, and like I said from when I started speaking about this particular point, I'm not giving you the chance to think about it. I'm saying don't. If you're the one going through the heartbreak, or if someone, don't date them. Yeah. At least you can hang around, you can observe from afar, you know, but don't date them. Listen, even if you are concerned, let me say this because it just came to my heart. Even if you're concerned that if I wait and delay now, somebody else might step in line. Guess what? That person that will step in line will be the rebound. It will be the rebound. It will be the one that will suffer. So you don't be the one that will come to help the healing process and throw you aside.
Yeah.
You know, so just
absolutely,
you know, allow time, and of course, if the person is concerned, really, he pays attention. If we pay good attention to your heart to heal, you don't need more than a month.
True.
Honestly, it takes 21 days average to build a new habit. So, you know, if you replace the emotions, the space that person had with something else, you know, within 21 days, you start to, you will not entirely feel better, but you start to, because, I mean, that person is a mark in your life. It will take some time to actually forget completely. Yeah. You know, on the average, they said that it takes 7 years for any form of pretense to die down. You know, so if you're pretending that you are okay, after 7 years, that's what will confirm if everything is okay. You know? So that's why within that 7 year period, you still find out that when you remember somebody that was in your life before, you still feel somehow. But after 7 years, now this is not me talking, this is science. So after 7 years,
statistics,
you cannot be drawn again.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. And you know, I was telling my husband before we started this video that most of our audience on our YouTube channel are Christians, like believers. And for many people, they say, oh, I've not heard God speak to me like the audible voice saying Samuel, Samson, you know.
Samuel.
Exactly.
Samuel.
You're not hearing thunder yet. But one of the ways that God speaks to every one of us is peace in our hearts. I remember before I met my husband, when I'd ended my relationship, there was somebody that I was talking to then who would have really been a rebound. But there was somebody I was getting close to, you know, we're gisting all the time. And he said, you know, asking me out, but somehow I was not really settled on it. And so I called my eldest sister in Lagos. And then I called her, I asked her, I said, this is it, or this is the situation, what do you think? And she said something to me. I can never forget. I was outside my office. And she said, the moment you don't have peace is not from God. But if you have peace, it is from God. For me, that was one of the strongest pointers. I knew that my husband was my husband, is my husband. Because I had peace. So as a Christian, once you have unrest, just know that it is a sign from God telling you, hold on, or wait. You must not. My husband always says something in church. He will say that many times most Christians miss the supernatural because they are waiting for the spectacular. So you are waiting for fire and brimstone to fall. You are waiting for an angel to come and appear to you and say, Hail Mary, thou art highly favored. It's not in all situations that will happen. But then for you to be able to hear the voice of God and discern the leading of the Spirit, it is peace in your heart. So if you don't have peace in your heart, just know that this one is not from God. Maybe I should hold on. It may not necessarily be that the person is not good. It may just not be time yet. It may be that the Lord is still working things in you that need some time. It may be that the person still needs some working to do in his or her life and just needs time. So if you don't have peace, or you know, you're just fidgeting, you are just scared, the person is good though, but if I go into the relationship with the person, how are we going to do? How are we going to survive? But this person has this person has that. It is a sign from God saying, daughter, son, hold on.
Yeah.
Wait. And many times, the thing is that many times many people make mistakes because they ignore the lack of peace and just go through. And that is because they think, well, I'm going to miss this person. But something for you to understand is that God has many. Do you know how many we are in the world? God has many sons and daughters that will still be good for you.
Yeah.
That will take care of you. So time passing doesn't mean that you have been forgotten.
Yeah.
Delay, as they say, is not denial. So if you think that, oh, my mates are getting married, my friends I've gotten this a lot. My friends will tell me, you got married a long time ago, so you don't understand how it is and all of that. But like my husband would say, it was for purpose sake, because God needed us to do a lot of things together at that time. And so if you don't have peace, hold on. If you have peace, then go on with it. If you can trust your spirit, because your spirit is submitted to God. Because if your spirit is not submitted to God, forget, you will have peace even if it's the danger zone you are going to. So once your spirit is submitted to God, God will influence your spirit. And if you have peace, it's a sign to go. If you don't have peace, then it's a sign to hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. And the Bible says, Philippians 4:6, be not anxious for anything. It said, don't be anxious for anything.
Yeah.
So when you make your prayers and supplication unto God, the first thing that God will do is that He will garrison your heart with peace. Yeah, big stuff. We that they paid, our school fees worth it.
Wow.
So, anyways,
wow.
So
last we still went almost the same secondary school. But if it's university, I will not talk, even though I'm proud of my university. And I went to Covenant University with my full chest, I say it.
Is it not last video that we say we should go and collect your school fees? You should be yanning around with that. See? I beg.
Papa Oyedepo must hear about this. Yeah. You are insulting my school.
I'm not insulting your school.
Meanwhile, let me tell you guys, he used to be saying he wishes he went to Covenant University.
That's not what we're talking about here.
But don't you say it.
That's not what
we're talking about here.
That's not what we're talking about here.
Next. Oh, yeah.
That's what we're talking about here.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes. But before I say the last point, just try subscribe to the channel.
Just subscribe. Yes.
Subscribe. Hit the like button.
And hit the like button. And if you have laughed, hit the like button. Comment.
Show us the laughing. LMAO.
Just try not
LOL.
Let the A not be too far away.
Yeah.
Don't laugh it out too much. Alright. I'm a queer Lord. I know sometimes it's glory that is influencing me.
So now, okay, so yes, the final note, one of the things you want to consider before you date or or not date is the dynamics of the relationship. What are the dynamics that will surround that relationship? For example, somebody in Canada is trying to date you here in Nigeria. Are you a distant relationship person?
Exactly.
For me, I know that. For me, I can work both ways.
Yeah.
Distant relationship and close contact.
Yeah.
But can you? Because many people engage in those kinds of relationships, then you now start cheating.
Yeah.
You understand? In fact, you never used to cheat until you stayed. You didn't know you had the potential to cheat.
You didn't know you were a cheater. You could be a cheater
until you start dating, having a distant relationship. Guess what? Because when you're in a relationship with someone, you kindle emotions that you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
So you will start to look for that satisfaction in that person when the person cannot.
To be in the person closest.
The closest person will now be the person you are bouncing on. So to avoid all those issues, don't. That's just an example. Another example can be, okay, imagine someone has a child already. I'm not saying that it's wrong. Don't even judge me, because you are judging me. If someone says he has a child, it's something you want to consider, because guess what? The person, the relationship comes with the package of the child.
Exactly, like a movie we saw yesterday. The guy said,
I didn't see the movie with you.
He saw it as a Nigerian film. That's why he's trying to deny. He saw the impact. He was even reminding. He said, "Just wait and see now. This is what."
I told her that I've watched this film already before, and guess what? Who will make us watch Nigerian film in this house?
I'm proud of my country, guys.
Me too. I'm proud of my country. But on that part, we're not there yet. If it's the new ones, we're doing awesome. I've gone to cinema.
Yeah.
But for the older ones, it's not a new film now, please. So
is it me that put it?
It's not you.
Is it me?
God. See, but that's what we're talking about. The dynamics of the relationship. If it's not you that put it, why don't I to fire you now? Not to lie.
Oh my God.
See, the only time I ever put African Magic Urban or Showcase or whatever to show any listen is when Izubi Michael that is in the film.
Just hear the funny.
You know, but he's not a silly actor, but he's funny. That guy does not know that I'm his biggest fan. He's one of my. I don't know why I like him.
Because it's always. Let me just keep quiet.
Sit down for my listen.
I put that film yesterday because there was nothing to watch. Literally, there was nothing. And then, but wait, I watched a local film yesterday. Only me, I was busy laughing in this parlor because it's been a long time. It was Mercy Johnson that acted it. I laughed.
Did we ask you?
I'm just stating my point.
So the last one, dynamics. You see, but wait.
All these things
Stop. That's how people in community universities to behave. So last dynamics now. You see, but the last dynamic.
The last point. Dynamics of relationship
is if you, for example, now the child comes with the package. That's what I'm saying. Yes, the child comes with the package. So that kind of dynamic, you want to know. Okay, another very crazy dynamic is this: the person is dissatisfied with the person they are dating.
Yeah. And
they have not broken it off. Then you want to enter.
Yeah.
Listen, you are now in a triangle. Then what's going to happen is that this person may eventually not be able to leave this other person. You understand? And then, or somebody's. I mean, more on this dynamic. You want, as this point I just said, you want to know why they left they are leaving the last relationship.
Yeah.
It's not that they are bored. And then, because sometimes I won't lie to you, people cheat because they want that spark in the relationship.
Yes.
And that's why we talk about how you can create the spark for yourself. Between two of you. You do something out of the normal to, create, make the relationship feel new. So that's why people cheat. But then they will cheat on you too. If you are the one they're using to cheat.
This is a very valid point, baby.
Cheats will cheat on you. You are a cheat because they are cheating with you. It's not the person cheating alone that is a cheat.
Yeah.
Both of you are cheats.
Yeah.
So as both of you are cheats, if he now eventually stays with you, he will cheat on you. Exactly. Or she will cheat on you. And
you have no ground to complain because you did it before.
You were a cheater.
Wow.
You need to be in the zoo.
You need to be in the zoo.
So anyways, well,
so
I think that's all for this.
These are the points that you should really pay attention
consider.
to.
These are just pointers to the kind of conversations you should have with your potential before you say yes or begin to consider to date. Once the butterflies in your stomach start to rumble for somebody, just start to consider these things.
Have you experienced it before?
Please.
What are the people that are performing macho? The butterfly is still walking now. But
anyways.
Thank you guys for watching this video.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We believe that you have subscribed and you have liked this button because when you like it, you give the video the opportunity to be seen by more people. Yeah. So you like it, you agree with what we said, give us a thumbs up. Yeah. Share, talk about it, comment. Yeah. I would like to hear comments about the video. Yeah. And then as always, for whatever topic you want us to speak about, just leave it in the comment section. Yeah. And remember that every Friday we upload a new video. Yeah. So far we've kept our word. Yeah. So we'll do our best to continue to do that. Yeah. Have new stuff. And then if you have not watched any of our older videos, you can still go back. We have other videos that we have shared before. We'll link them in the description box. So you can watch, listen, and then follow us on any of our social media handles as well. Yeah. But remember to subscribe. And thank you for watching. Do have a nice day. God bless. Thank you. Bye. Bye.